The room obviously has a ton of leaders, guys like yourself who have worn the city. Like, you don't replace guys if there's a room that's built to handle the loss of a guy who leads the league, because it seems like this is that sort of.
Yeah, you can't replace Barkey. He does so many different things on and off the ice. But one of the things that I was really, really impressed about was that when you came in, you didn't feel like one guy led the way. You felt like everyone was very dialed in to what they had to do to buying into the group. They did everything as a unit, and that is very special. You don't see that often where a group is one. You know, you normally have like one or two guys that kind of lead the way and other guys that follow, and guys that are kind of coming up and trying to lead and want to lead. And then you have a bunch of guys that follow, and that's the complete opposite of this group. You know, when Barkey, when you see him, he just has an aura about him. The way that he takes care of himself and he prepares, and the way he does lead on the ice in practice and stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to be hard to play. He's the best two-way player in the game. You know, you're not going to be able to replace that guy. But yeah, collectively as a group, I mean, you just try to all pick up a little piece of that and try a little bit harder. Try to fill in where you can. You know, and hopefully as a group you can kind of come together. And it's also, the adversity is good for the group. You know, obviously you never want to see a guy go down. But we have multiple guys that have gone down this year and have created holes, and it creates opportunities for other guys. Other guys get to play more. They get to step into a role they haven't had before, and other guys get a look that maybe they wouldn't have had. So it's where opportunities created. You know, 99% of guys, that's how they get in this league, is somebody gets hurt and you get an opportunity, and you got to try to seize a spot. So, yeah, that's how it works.
You know that headline's coming at something like that. Without Barkley, there's no way this team can do it again. Does that, in a weird way, be extra fuel for this group?
I don't think this group needs fuel. We know what we are. You know, we know what our goals are and what we're looking at doing this year. You know, looking down the road at winning the Stanley Cup is the last thing you want to do right now. There's such a long road before that, and there's so many different things that you need to overcome, and adversity that comes. You know, there's a foundation that needs to be built. So, you know, the headlines can come out all they want about, you know, what we can and what we can't do. 9 months from now, there's 9 months that we need to deal with before that.
Right, you touched on just how many different leaders you guys have in the room, and how you have guys who can't tell. Have you been part of a team where, I think Paul used the phrase, the leadership sort of horizontal, where it's like there's no real, even though far across the sea, there's no real technical. Have you ever been on a team that sort of had that many guys in the room who can?
Yeah.
Can't step up when it's their time?
I have, yeah, I have been part of a team. We've had a couple teams in Boston like that. It doesn't happen often, but every now and again there's a team where you have a lot of older guys, a lot of guys that have been around, a lot of guys that are really self-focused, self-aware about what they need to do to prepare to be at their best. And then you have a team buy-in, a complete buy-in in the group. And when you have that, it's, you know, you can have guys go down and still have success, because there's not one player that you rely on. There's a group game, a team game that's in place that allows you to have success. It doesn't matter who's in or out. And you see that with really good teams. They're able to find a way to win when guys go down. You know, obviously it's unfortunate that we lost you know, our best player and our best leader, but again, that just creates opportunity for someone else to be big, someone else to fill into a hole that maybe they didn't think they were needed for a while because Barkey was there. But it gives an opportunity for other guys to step up and have a voice and lead in different ways. And incredible things can happen in moments like that. You know, guys can shine in a way that maybe, you know, people didn't think was possible, and they just needed that opportunity. So, you know, there's a lot of talk about this being a bad situation, and it is, but a lot of good can come from a bad situation, and a lot of really good opportunity, and that's what we expect from guys in our room, is to step up and be big in big moments.
obviously, like I said, it takes everyone has to step up, but for Lundy, moves up a little bit through that chart. He played with him, obviously, a ton last year, and he's seen these matchups. The teams would take guys off Barkov, they put them on your line, and you guys obviously did a great job there. How excited do you see a young player like Lundy, obviously got a ton of experience, but still a guy like him kind of step up into a bigger role?
Yeah, he's a great example. He's a top 2-line center on any team in this league, and he's been kind of stuck in the third hole because of the depth in this group. But you talk about opportunity and guys having the opportunity to play more and have a bigger role. Well, he's a great example of that. He's almost a bit like a little Barky. He very responsible two-way, extremely skilled, very good around the net. So he has all the attributes to be a great player in this league, and he can handle the minutes, he can handle the ice time, he can handle the matchups. And he showed that on the biggest stage multiple years here. So again, when top guys go down, other guys that have maybe been held back a little bit, Samo's going to be another guy that's going to get a great opportunity with Chucky being down, and he looks unbelievable out there right now, and same with Boki. So some of these guys that when you have a really deep team, maybe they're held back in a position that allows our team to have success because it gives us that depth, but they're ready and they're built for more. And these are the opportunities where you get in, and I have no question that these guys are going to succeed.
Speaking of opportunity, it's an opportunity for so many guys, so many different spots, so many guys moving around. One guy I can't hear, Jackson Stanika, you play with in Boston a bit. He's hoping to get back to some regular NHL games. He said you texted him after he signed. How excited are you to kind of reunite with him here a little bit? And what you saw him as a very young player, kind of what excites you about his being here?
Yeah, I've known Studs for a while. I really like Studs. He's a great kid. And I've seen him really kind of grow and mature. His first year in camp, I thought he was going to make the team at 18, 19 years old. He was incredible. His speed and just how his touch around the net is really impressive. And now he's had a couple of years there where he's had some injuries and stuff, but he looks great out there right now. He's flying around. And sometimes those are the guys that you just need that break, and these are the things that happen that get that. But, he works extremely hard in the gym, off the ice. He's really dedicated right now to doing all the right things. And I haven't seen him for a couple of years, but he's grown a lot in his maturity and in his game, in his details off the ice, the way he prepares. So I've been impressed watching him so far in camp. And, I hope he does well. I hope he succeeds, and I'd love to see him on this team, just because I have seen him grow from an immature kid and doing all this, these silly moves on the ice that would bother me, and now he's got that hard direct game, and he's shooting pucks, and he's driving to hard areas. So I like what he's done.
Brad, like to mention, similar to Barkov, you have one to see. You and I talked a little bit last year about how similar to Matthew Tkachuk, you have an emotional feel for the game.
Mm-hmm.
With those two guys, obviously not available to start the season, do you feel like maybe those are some of the parts of your individual skill set that will be a little bit more amplified at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I think I can be one of those vocal guys. Barky's not overly vocal, but he leads off the ice. I think we have a lot of guys that can help in that regard, just by their work ethic on the ice, in the gym. Things where Barky really leads. The vocal stuff is Chucky's very, very big, so that's a big loss there. I think that's definitely an area I can help with. I talk too much at times, and I'm sure guys are going to get sick of me, and really looking forward to Chucky getting back. But there's definitely some areas there that I feel like I can pick up a little bit of the slack and help out. And even with Smitty being gone, he's another guy that talked a lot. He brought a lot of guys together, created a lot of energy in the room. So it's another guy that hasn't been talked a lot about, missing in that area, but he will be a loss as well there.